Welcome back to another Hot Takes video, and the first topic is about CM Punk. A lot of people are unhappy about the fact that he went to Saudi Arabia to wrestle that WWE Championship match with John Cena. For example, this tweet says that bro apologized to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia before he would apologize to the Elite. Phony corporate monkey. Outside of that, we also had this tweet that said, absolutely fantastic week to not be a CM Punk fan. God, this is just so funny. It's like a humiliation ritual. And I understand that people are unhappy that CM Punk went to Saudi Arabia, but at this point, we just gotta let it go. CM Punk is not a corporate sellout. He's matured. He's moved on. Yes, 6 years ago, he said what he said, but he did apologize, and I think that he's over that. And there's a lot of people that clearly are not moving on from this, and I think that's just some weird behavior. He did the mature move. He apologized, and he wants to move on. I do think it's strange that WWE sent him here because it's not a great idea to send one of your biggest baby faces to Saudi Arabia when they're gonna boo the hell out of him, but that is a totally different problem. I think what CM Punk did was the right thing, and I think a lot of people should accept the fact that CM Punk has changed for the better, and I see no problem with apologizing. If anything, more people need to apologize and the world would be a better place. At the end of the day, I think it's just a lot of AEW fans who will never get over the fact that CM Punk and AEW had a falling out, but I think it's time for those people to let go of the beef that you guys got with CM Punk, because I promise you guys that he just does not care about AEW anymore. He's moved on, he's doing his own thing, and it looks like he's in a better place as well as AEW, and so my hot take is that everybody has got to move on. The next hot take says that John Cena is right when he says that he's the last real champion, because I believe no future champion except maybe a heel Cody or Punk would be able to match the aura or star power. I gotta disagree with this hot take just for the simple fact that you even said that a heel Cody or Punk would actually have aura and star power similar to John Cena, but aside from that, you also have guys like Drew McIntyre, who I think would be a great WWE champion. Then you've got Randy Orton, who had the history of being a champion in the past, and I think he should have more championship runs in the future. Gunther, I think, is a great champion as well, so I gotta respectfully disagree with this hot take. I think that there's plenty of people that will be great champions. Speaking of John Cena and his run, Jonah thinks that Ron Killings should be the one to dethrone John Cena. I don't know about this. I love the whole storyline that Ron Killings has been doing since coming back to WWE, but when it comes to dethroning John Cena, I just can't see that happening. I think that a heel Cody is going to be the one who dethrones John Cena. Speaking of Cody and Cena, JT Roberts says that a heel Cody and face Cena will be a satisfying end to John Cena's career. I think a match with these two, but with the roles being reversed, would be much better than their WrestleMania 41 match. With that said, I don't think that John Cena's last match is going to be with Cody Rhodes. I think he's going to want to put over somebody young, maybe someone like Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, or Braun Breaker. That's who I think John Cena will face before he leaves. The next hot take says that Paul Heyman is being wasted in Seth's new faction. Seth does not need Paul Heyman, and Paul's better off with someone like Andrade. The Andrade part is kind of funny because it's so random, but I do gotta agree. I think that the Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman pairing just isn't working. I actually think that if Cody Rhodes does turn heel, him joining Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman would completely change the game, and I hope that's the direction that WWE is going in the future. Dowd says that Sami Zayn should never win a world title. I don't know why you gotta hate on my boy Sami Zayn. I think Sami would make for a great champion. He's the ultimate underdog, but outside of that too, he can play a great villain if he needs to. I think his heel run in 2019 and 2018, those 2 years were great stuff. Also, the whole Bloodline story just shows you that Sami Zayn could be at the top of the card and the people would absolutely love him. I do think he's gonna turn heel soon just because everyone who feuds with Karrion Kross does turn heel, so it will be interesting to see what he does next. But anyways, I do think that Sami Zayn needs to win one world championship before he retires, because he definitely deserves it, and it kind of reminds me of Mick Foley winning back in 1999. Sami Zayn isn't the only guy who has haters. Cody does too, because this hot take says that Cody Rhodes has no character. He's really boring and predictable. His only trait is taking things from other wrestlers. His gimmick he took from his dad, like, is he even going to make something original? And Cody should not have beaten Jey when Cody was literally the champion for a year. People who like Cody like boring things. That is one of the funniest hot takes ever. I understand people don't like Cody Rhodes, but this just takes it to the next level. I like Cody Rhodes. I don't think he's this bad, but I do think that he needs to turn heel because his babyface run should come to an end. On the other hand, this hot take says that Cody Rhodes finishing his story is better and bigger than the Undertaker streak, and that is just incorrect. I understand you can have opinions, but this is just a wrong opinion. The Undertaker streak was one of the greatest things that ever happened in pro wrestling. I understand that Cody finished his story was more recent and it was a great moment, but it does not come close to the Undertaker and his streak, especially when the streak came to an end. That was a big moment. Cameron says that no one cares about Goldberg's retirement, and I gotta say that I kind of care. I think he deserves a great retirement match, and I think putting him with Gunther was a great idea because the match is going to be maybe, 5 minutes long, and Gunther is going to get a good match out of Goldberg, and he's going to beat the crap out of him. So it's a win-win for everyone. If you hate Goldberg, you get to see him get his ass kicked. If you like Goldberg, you get to see him one more time. Tyler says that Dom should win Money in the Bank next year as a face, and I totally agree. I love Dom. I've been saying that he should win Money in the Bank, but at this point, I have completely given up on Triple H and his booking on the Money in the Bank. I think Triple H should honestly just cancel Money in the Bank because he clearly does not know how to book that pay-per-view or the concept at all. Justin says that Jey Uso is not a main event guy. He never has been one and never will be one, and both of his single title reigns have proved that. Yeah, look, Jey Uso is a great singles competitor, but I think I might have to agree with this just because I did not enjoy his world championship run that much. I think it also comes down to one big problem, and that is the Yeet thing, which the next hot take says that they need to end the Yeet crap and give Jey something new. I completely agree with this. I think before he was doing the Yeet stuff back in 2020 when he was feuding with Roman Reigns, or even in 2023 at SummerSlam before his brother betrayed him, I think that Jey Uso was doing some great stuff, and then he introduced Yeet, and that's when everything went downhill. So I do think if he becomes more serious, Jey could be a main event player, but as of right now, the Yeet thing just isn't working for me. I'm sure a lot of people love it, but not me. Amir says that Jimmy and Jey Uso should go back to being the Usos again. I would love to see a reunion between these two people. They need to revive the tag team division because it's not looking too hot. I think a match between the Usos and the Lucha Bros would go hard. Daryl says that the WWE Women's Division has much more young perspective talent than the current men's division. Look, Daryl, I have to agree with you. I do think that the women's division is stacked and they got a bright future, but the same thing applies to the men's division. I look at guys like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and plenty more. I think it will take maybe 5 years for them to really build them up, but there is a lot of potential, especially when you look at NXT as well. The WWE with the women and men will both be fine in the long run. The next hot take says the Slim Jim logos on the tables aren't so bad. Call me crazy if you want, but the Slim Jim logos just don't do it for me. It is annoying. I don't like it. Get rid of all the ads. That is one thing that Vince McMahon had right. Divey420 says the draft is the worst idea ever. I love the draft, but I do think that Raw and SmackDown Superstars should stay on their brand. That is a problem. If they continue to just, cross over, you might as well cancel the draft. But if they don't, the draft is a great concept. Zayn says the new generation of wrestlers need to understand that gymnastics is not wrestling. Pro wrestling is all about storytelling and not doing choreographed gymnastic spots in that ring. You know me, this is something I totally agree with. If you look back at the 70s and 80s wrestling, a lot of it, in my opinion, was better because it was a lot slower, a lot more methodical, and it was like a fight. It felt like a fight, whereas nowadays, it does kind of look a little too choreographed, so hopefully we can move away from that and go back to older, classic pro wrestling. Luke says that Randy Orton was the best in 2009 in his career. I got a hot take. I think that Randy Orton was better from 2006 through 2008. I love the feud with The Undertaker. I think Rated RKO was legendary. I absolutely hated those two guys when I was a kid, but also the Legend Killer was just on a different level. I liked him and preferred that version of Randy over bald-headed 2009 Viper Randy. FaZe Scout says that Steve Austin is not top 3, and I want to include this reply because it's so funny. It says, correct, he's top 3. I agree. Austin is a Mount Rushmore wrestler. And the last hot take says that Bret Hart is the most overrated wrestler of all time. This is a hot take that I gotta completely disagree with. Bret Hart is one of the greatest wrestlers, if not the best in that ring. There's a reason that Bret said he was the best there ever was, the best there ever is, and the best there ever will be. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.